Last night, a new ISIS video showing another hostage execution of a third Western captive. This time, David Haines, a British humanitarian aid worker, decapitated, and another Brit is threatened at the end of the video. Now, we have faced in the history of our nation and the history of the world brutal dictators, insane leaders, genocidal maniacs, but this is different. The jihad that has been declared against not just us, but all religions not extreme enough, involves not just one country or one leader, but haters from all over the globe. Political Islam and the jihad that accompanies it has as its fundamental rule conversion to their perverted fanatical religion or death. This enemy is not just made up of a few ragtag followers or a JV team, as our president claimed. In the name of their God, they crucify Christians, behead Muslims, Americans, and Brits. They rape and massacre women and children, and they put their heads on sticks. Medieval barbarism. This is unlike anything we've experienced in recent history. There are no rules of war, no rules of engagement, no Geneva Convention. Just pure savagery. But what makes them even more dangerous? They are the wealthiest terrorist organization in history, bringing in $3 million a day, in addition to the $500 million stolen from the Iraqi bank. This enemy is the antithesis of everything America stands for. The antithesis of the belief that we have certain unalienable rights that come from our Creator, natural rights that our Declaration of Independence lays out. Our enemy wants nothing more than to destroy everything we value and everything that we have worked for. This is an extraordinary moment in our history. And like the defeat of Hitler, who had as his goal the elimination of Jews, the enemy we face has as its goal the elimination of civilization as we know it. This moment in history calls for a commander-in-chief who is a true leader, who says what he means and means what he says. A leader who understands his calling, and a leader who is both respected and feared. Is Barack Obama that leader? I, for one, am haunted by the image of our president running back to the golf course within 10 minutes of announcing the beheading of James Foley to fist bump his pals. And the juxtaposition of Prime Minister Cameron, also on vacation but running back to 10 Downing to deal with the crisis. Honestly, I am tired of people saying, you're entitled to a vacation. Mr. President, you just had 3 weeks at Martha's Vineyard. And today, after the third beheading, you're on the golf course again. While John Kerry tries to partner up with our Arab allies who don't really trust you. Even you admit that the optics didn't look so good. But it's more than optics, Mr. President. It's a message to our enemy that is unmistakable. And it's not just one message, but the many that you have sent through the course of your presidency that shapes the enemy's perception of your resolve. Starting with the 2009 apology for being an American speech in Cairo, to your not sending troops to rescue our men begging for help in Benghazi, to saying that you're going to reduce the Army to pre-World War II levels, to constantly signaling that we are not a superpower. And while you trumpet the reduction of our Army to pre-World War II levels, there are those who say that is a mistake.
This is a turning point in the war on terror. We're fighting a terrorist army, not an organization. It's going to take an army to beat an army. And this idea we'll never have any boots on the ground to defeat them in Syria is fantasy. I will not let this president suggest to the American people we can outsource our security, and this is not about our safety.
Even your pathetic efforts saying, we tried but failed to rescue the 2 Americans subsequently beheaded, sent an even clearer message. Now, there's nothing wrong with trying and failing to save Americans, but you are truly clueless when you announce to our enemy, for political expediency here in the United States, that we failed. They now know to separate the hostages and to keep them mobile. These times, possibly more than any other, call for a real leader. I don't believe that you're up to the task, and neither do 70% of Americans. How can we? 2 weeks ago, you had no strategy. First, we were going to contain them, then degrade them, then destroy them, then conduct a counterterrorism offensive. And if you and your Secretary of State can't say we're at war when even your own Pentagon says that we are, one doesn't have to wonder why your numbers are so low. But then again, you may be learning something on the golf course that we're not aware of, that maybe can help you save America. And that's my open.